but I want to go there. So are you a U.S. citizen and you're living your dream over there? Like, what's the deal? That's exciting.
Correct. Yes, I'm actually a tour guide in the Champagne region. So when you come, you'll have champagne to drink with my guidance.
Okay, everybody, we're behind the hour. Let's chat afterwards. I'm going to go live on my Zoom channel here, and we're just going to get this thing rolling. We'll keep it to a little short meeting today. This meeting is being live streamed. It says here, got it. Boom. Okay, everybody, we're live on POD TV. We're live on all the spots that I know how to do. Actually, we're live today on Roku. My parent company, POD TV, which I don't have a logo up today, and I'm not going to go fetch it today, but POD TV, we bless you. I've been with them for 3 years, and soon we may be getting some sponsors for Weed Weeds Day through them. And then Mr. Jeffy Fresh, Jeff Eichen, Mr. Rogers, however you want to call me, just don't call me late for dinner. We are going to be monetized by some new sponsors. And so the mortgage will get better, and we can build our hemp home on my extra property for everybody to come up and do a Women in Weeds Day here on my property in the beautiful Olympic Peninsula in Washington State. It's really beautiful here, gorgeous. The sun is streaming today. I painted my porch purple last week. Have a new GF in my life, and so we're having a blast, and that's pretty fun. She even made me this beautiful headband, and so that's kind of cool. I've been sporting that when it gets chilly, so that's all beautiful. But that's because GFs are good for the soul, for man. And I want to read you something, everybody, before I do my intro. And welcome, everybody. Welcome. We'll see if we get Crazy Papa back and Sola Breezy. Big announcement. Let's see the families. I'm going to go back to my paperwork here. And okay, because I am lamer than lame, I'm going to read it from the internet here, and I printed out last week's print here. So it says Women in Weeds Day, episode 130. Okay, everybody take a deep breath and remember Brittany Griner in jail for pot. Remember Jeff Mazansky, who's been on our show a million times, who's not in jail anymore for 2.5 grams for 21 years and 9 months. So when you put anybody in jail, you put their family in jail. That's the theme of my new movie we're going to be fundraising for in the first of the year, called The Families. And let me enter, somebody else just came in. It's CPM. Hang on. Hello? It is.
What is your place in all of this?
Can you call me back? I'm on live TV right now, and it'd be great to hear from you because it's really important that I speak to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I did that very smoothly.
Yes.
I did that very smoothly. So what was that you were asking, Rodimus? What were you asking?
I was asking Brooke to introduce herself.
Oh, come on, Brooke. Yeah, you can introduce yourself. Then I'm going to read my intro. So everybody listen. This is Brooke Westlake from Women in Cannabis Expo.
Hello, thank you for having me on today, Weed Wednesday. I'm Brooke Westlake. I'm the owner and founder of Women in Cannabis Expo, and also my e-commerce brand, which is called Legally Blonde and Blunt. It's all the glitter and all the girly and all the things that aren't out there in the market that I've been developing myself, and it's been a lot of fun. But I'm excited to be here today with Jeff. Jeff participated in our very last trade show we had this year. We had 4 total for this year. And now with the holidays coming up, we are prepping to do 2 big shows for 2023, as well as we are starting now, as I've been releasing the photos. Some of you have seen the pictures of me that I've done with my products that I've been vetting throughout the year, and products that I've developed. You will start to see those throughout the shows. I've had booths at my own shows with the Legally Blonde and Blunt. And we're doing big things with that because it is a very women-centric brand. And so when I got educated on consumption and flower, my question was, can I buy, where's a pink pipe? I want a glitter pipe. And they didn't have anything. And so that's where I saw another niche market and just said, okay, like I'm going to add this onto my business plans. And I'm just so happy to be with all of you guys here today because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I have the Christmas tree up. I'm going to decorate it after our show today, go run my 4 miles, get a little high later, eat a little bit of food so I have a big appetite tomorrow. And that's a little bit about me.
Rodimus, thank you so much, Brooke. Rodimus, what's that song? Who wrote that song? Was it gonna take you high, high, high till the music's done?
Right, wrote the song. Who did that?
Who's the guy that?
If anybody else knows, tell them if anybody else knows on
Gonna take you high, 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 high.
That was Paul McCartney.
Oh, that was PM. Okay, that was PM. I was talking to somebody this week, everybody, and they saw PM last year in concert, and they said, you know, I watched that series of the Beatles that they found all the old footage and everything. And they said, once you see that series of them working in the studio, you'll realize Paul McCartney was the best. But I still like my George. So we all have our favorite things. We all have our favorite strains. Be careful, be sane this holiday. And let me read, and we're going to welcome in Crazy Pop Mom too. Let me read you, everybody, my little introduction here. And because it's the holidays, we can play, and it's my show. We can do whatever we freaking want. But I want everybody to realize that that Brittany Griner is still behind bars in Russia for a freaking little vape pen for 9 years. What the hell? And that's because the stigma is still effed up. And we'll mind our P's and Q's here and there. But if we slip up, it's late night with Jeff here. And we're on Weeds Day. Women in Weeds Day today. And Brooke, remember, it's Weeds Day. So, so here we go. And we got Brooke as our little co-host today. But we'll bring on Pop Mom in a minute. As we enter the holidays, I offer you this thought, everybody. Mom, mother, grandmother, she, her, they, them. The cookies and the frilly trimmings are brought to you by these awesome women. Yes, the emotional side of 420 is my vision of the pie called Women in Weeds Day and our industry. I'm so honored to offer and dedicate a full show every third Weeds Day to these awesome women of cannabis, as I see them they're the heart and soul of our industry, of our road, of our restaurant we call Women in Weeds Day. Hemp Hooray. Take it away, Brooke Westlake. I'll let you play for a minute and tell us a little bit about how you're doing, and then I'll do my intro right after you say Hemp Hooray.
Hemp Hooray, everybody. Happy Weed Wednesday. I'm doing pretty good. I was kind of like not really feeling holidays, so my stepdad passed away this summer. Some of you guys know this. He was a very awesome advocate for cannabis. I did not know that he used cannabis. I came into the industry after being in healthcare for 20 years. So my journey into this business was later, after I did my master's in criminal justice. And one of the things we talk about in the master's program,
recording
people
in
say,
progress.
Oh, they probably encourage people to go to prison for cannabis. And I said, it's actually the opposite. They teach a lot about the war on drugs and how it's crippled so many families and everything. And at the end of the day, when I announced to my family that I was going into cannabis, my stepdad was one of the biggest advocates, like, heck yeah, girl, like, go do it. So we're kind of missing him right now because he passed away. But, he was at end of life care and he made some decisions. And we made sure, because he couldn't smoke a joint in the hospital, I was able to bring him in tinctures. And I have to tell this story because it's really cute and really funny about him. So The death process is not a fun one if any of you have experienced it. This was probably the first positive experience I've had with the death process. And so Roger, we call him Raji, I gave him some temperatures, and because he couldn't have a vape and he couldn't have a joint in the hospital. And so my mom and I are sitting there and we're just like talking to him, holding his hand. We're just like telling stories, crying, laughing, all the things. And he looks up and he goes, "The clock, it hasn't moved." And my mom and I are like, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "It's 4:20." And we're like, "Oh my God." Like, here he is checking out, but still very happy, positive. And he was totally stoned, and and he was comforted at the end. And so for us, that was very important, is having comfort. It's been a huge journey for me to be in this industry. I'm going on my 4th year with 2 businesses that I've launched and been a part of this community. Like I said, came in from the healthcare background. When I entered this industry in 2020, of course, good old COVID happened. I actually almost died that year. I came within a couple hours of losing my own life. I had a very rare thing that happened. I was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. That was the worst ride of my life. Those things are not comfortable at all. They're very bumpy, and you're like, "I'm in pain." Like, do they not have something to make comfort for these patients? But at the end of 2020, what became really relevant was the amount of weight I'd lost, struggling significantly with appetite. I had a whole section of my colon removed, and that's what happened and why it was critical and emergency. It was knotted up, and blood, you have arteries in and out, and if you don't get help with what's called a volvulus, it's a very different thing from a bowel obstruction. It's knotted up, so they literally have to remove the whole entire section out. I didn't eat for 4 days. I was in the hospital for a week. My stepdad and mom were the first people down there. In fact, when they did let me up out of the bed on day 4, he was there with me with a walker to help me walk down the hallway because I couldn't even get down the hallway. So that end of year became a very critical time for me because, as mentioned, I dropped a lot of weight and could not keep food down. So I had tried cannabis 20 years ago, and it was not a good experience. I had a panic attack. I didn't like the sensation. Now you go into a dispensary and you're like, "I want it to smell like apple cider with a hint of strawberry." And that was not what we had 20 years ago, as most of you know. It was like bad pot, good pot. And so my first experience was not a positive one, and it did not lead me to ever try cannabis again until I came to this very critical crossroad in my life. So I went into a dispensary, did not tell them I worked in the business, just said, "Here's what's going on with my health. Like, what can you recommend? I don't mind smoking. I don't mind vaping. Edibles are great." And it was the bud tender who educated me on microdosing and said, "Oh, you have the panicky symptoms. Okay, you don't want the terpene of the pinings. You don't want that." And I'm like, "Okay, great." So that was really magical for me because I could not keep food down, and I started to do microdosing, and it's literally changed my life. I mean, at this point, and I do say this wholeheartedly, cannabis is not only a part of my business, day-to-day operation, but it's actually helping keep me alive. And I mean that full-heartedly because without it, there's days I can go 2 or 3 days without eating because I don't want to be throwing up and I feel sick. And so it's been a very magical full circle, I think, for me in my experience. And I feel so blessed that we're in a time now as we come into the legalization where we can have those conversations of sensation and what you're looking to have for your body and your health and what works for you, what doesn't, the sensation of the anxiety. Some people don't mind that feeling, but for me, it was just a very overwhelming feeling. So I feel like we are, we're late to the game on the legalization part, but with that said, here we are, we're doing the best that we can. We're pushing boundaries and limits, and we're still having these deep, meaningful conversations of people that are still locked up that shouldn't be there. But I also feel at the same time, we have to continue to help educate others. And I was very thankful that I was able to get educated by a bud tender. I think we need more nurses and doctors who are more holistic approach when a patient says, "I don't want a bottle of all these pills. I would like to try a homeopathic route." And I think we need to really, in the next few years, I see more doctors and nurses coming on to educate patients on ways that they can consume, just like I was educated by a bud tender. So that's a little bit about my journey and my story. I'm a single mom of 2 boys. 12 and 3.5. He's going to be 4. Love my boys. My oldest does know that I'm in the industry. He's kind of made jokes every now and then. Mom's in the weed business, and I tell him it's cannabis. Don't refer to it as slang. I want to teach them proper. But I will say this: when my children are old enough, if they would like to consume and they have questions, I would be more happy that they conduct themselves with consumption of cannabis than I would for alcohol. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff. I hope that was enlightful and got you to know a little bit about me and kind of a little bit about my story and my journey so far.
So your evolution into the cannabis world was brought on by medical situation, correct?
No, my evolution into the cannabis space was I was in healthcare for 20 years, and in 2018, the company I worked for closed. I got accepted into the graduate program at the University of Nevada, Reno to do my master's. Right as I was finishing my criminal justice master's, I was looking at purchasing a fingerprint drug testing franchise because of my healthcare background and the regulatory of my criminal justice background. I reached out to my mentor, and my mentor said to me, you should open a cannabis testing lab. The state needs them. They really hone in on part of like the medical, the regulatory side. That's where my journey in cannabis started. I still do not have a testing lab because the licenses in the state of Nevada have been shut down since 2019. The state got sued for how they distributed them unfairly. So we started with the journey of the lab, and I actually launched the expo at the same time because I realized after being at a very large trade show, there was not a trade show for women. I had set aside some time, and I told my ex-husband at the time, hey, I want to spend some money traveling. I want to go to some women conferences. And I could not find anything in the industry. So I went back to the group of investors for the lab and said, hey, I would like to conduct both opening a lab and my expo for women. Are you okay with that? And they were delighted. They were excited, delighted, and said, yes, please do both. So it's worked out really well because, as I've mentioned, I still don't have the lab to this day. I have the building. I have all the vendors lined up that I need if and when they open licensing. I have the option to purchase out somebody else's license, but typically it's cost prohibitive. They want another $1 million. It already costs about $2.5 to $3 million to open a testing lab. So I'm not really willing to negotiate and have another $3 million.
We met that woman in San Francisco that has the testing.
Jillian is opening. She's in the process. So
right.
She has her building in Long Beach. She's the first minority woman in Long Beach to get a testing lab license.
She was awesome. I have her interview, and believe you me, before springtime, I will have a compilation video from San Francisco for you. That's what I do. And after the holidays, or maybe when I get back from California, I'll cut a really beautiful little thing. But she was awesome when I interviewed her, and all the women are so spirited because I hold space that the women, like I said in my intro when I was reading it, was that, you know, they do the frilly things, they do the emotional things, but they also do the kitchen and the baby making. So it's really difficult when dad's out working, pounding nails to pay the mortgage or whatever their job is, that the women are really, really, really digging deep. And they're finding time, like yourself, even with children, with young children, to be ganjapreneurs.
Oh, I love that word. That word is worth like millions of dollars. Look it up on GoDaddy.com. Somebody did buy that word. Very smart. And what I tell people about this industry, there are so many businesses that haven't been created yet. We're just in the forefront. We are setting the tone. We are laying down the foundation. And I encourage many, many women, because we've seen a plethora of women leave this industry. It's very male dominant. I encourage women to create a company. What are you doing in the regular industry that you can pull into this industry? So you're very correct on that. And I will share this with you. My oldest son said to me one day, hey, Mom, I have a penis. Take that. And I said, hey, Grant, I can grow humans. Take that. And he was like, mic drop. He's like, mic drop. Thank you very much.
Brooke, hey, Brooke, I want to clarify something. Did you say earlier that you were for 20 years.
For 20 years, yes.
Wait, 420. Okay.
For 20 years, perfect.
Well, I'm really I'm blessed to have you all on today, and we'll give Brooke a really incredible applause for being the awesome woman, bringing the women to the forefront. I have on some of my logos, film is food. Okay. And as an artist, some people are artists. They don't know why they're artists. They just can't fit in the regular slot. But for me as a photographer my whole life, I was blessed to meet my masters. You seem to be a mistress master on women in cannabis. And when I met my masters, a 10-day workshop with Ansel Adams in Yosemite when I was 17, I looked to them as teachers and as mentors and as people that I wanted to be like. You know, I want to be like Mikey. I want to be a fireman when I grow up. But now, as 420 activists and ganjapreneurs, it's such a blessing that we're here in this lifetime to watch this all happen. If we can get 1 million people.
You are so articulate. You are so able to compact a lot of information in a short amount of time. I can see why you're doing well, and I can see why you're going to do even better, and how much you're contributing to women in the pot industry. So I just want to say thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, Jeff.
No, carry on.
You have it going on, and you know how to present the ideas so well, and I'm so grateful and so happy to know that you're out there doing what you're doing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This is thank you in sign. I'm fluent in sign language, so thank you very much.
So we definitely are here, everybody, on Women in Weeds Day with Brooke and the rest of us. We have Crazy Pop Mom on. Say hi, Crazy Pop Mom, in the little square there.
Hi, Crazy Pop Mom.
Hey, how's your day going?
Crazy Pop Mom makes really good, cool trays. She does these amazing trays with really high quality resins and designs, and they're pot trays for sifting your cleaning your pot, getting the twigs out. And she's got these really cool products that she needs to talk about. Go for it.
Yeah, so these ones that I'm showing right now are for auction, because all the money that goes towards these will go towards the prisoners for pot and their families. So that is why we are doing this.
This series, we're going to be having a fundraiser. We're going to be having a fundraiser for.
Hard to tell from a small image on the screen. These are like really beautiful, high quality, really thick, resin coated, like really badass products. So we want to make sure that people buy it from her because the proceeds. I mean, this is beautiful. Wouldn't you like to clean your pot on that? I mean, come on.
Yes. Those are beautiful. Very beautiful. Good for you for tapping into something that, like, you're artistic, obviously, and creative, and like pairing two things together with cannabis. Those are stunning.
Thank you. Yeah, I started with my paintings, but most of my fans, I guess you'd call you guys, are from the States, and it costs a lot to send a painting. So I was like, I don't even want to tell you how much the shipping's going to be. Doesn't even matter what you're paying for my painting. The shipping makes your jaw drop. So I was like, what can I do that's easier to ship? So then I started doing my jewelry.
You drive across the border and you go to the local post office on the American side and you ship from there.
Right. So I started to do my jewelry, which is really selling well right now at the vendors events that I'm doing. So I'm super excited about that. I have another one on Saturday.
So Crazy Pop Mom, you're in Canada?
I am. I'm in Ontario.
Okay. Awesome.
We'll batch them, and I'll be your what do they call that? The fulfillment center. I'll be your fulfillment center. So you can send 20 or 50. So, and then we can also white label things, Brooke, too. We can put your logo on a batch of trays, but the handmade trays are going to come along with, not unlike an NFT. An NFT is a non-fungible token where forever that art piece carries the amount of value, even if it raises in price, to the little bit goes back to the artist. But what we're going to do with the trays is that because I was at an auction where we were selling blueberry pies for the Wooden Boat Foundation in my little town in Washington, and they built a $12 million building here, and we raised $5,000 for blackberry handmade pies because the wealthy people would auction for them. So these trays, we're setting the intention to get $4,200, $4,200, $420 for each tray, and then these trays will live with you, and you know that that money's going into the Relief Foundation that Namaste is having, and we're going to be sharing that with the prisoners and their families.
Jeff, are you close enough to smoke a hunches for me to send it to, like, all the trays to just you and you can get them to her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to save us all on the shipping because all this money has to go to the prisoners, not to the post office.
Amansky. Well, on that note, everybody, I'm going to share my screen with you all, and I'm going to do our intro that we never did. And our intro has a little bit of Solo the Man Breezy. So get ready for a little 3-minute intro here, everybody. And here we go. Hello? Who's this? Snake Pit? Hey, I'm on live on my TV show. Can you call me in half an hour? Today, bye. I'd like to welcome all the women in Weeds Day, and it's Jeff Eichen here with co-host Brooke Westlake from Women in Cannabis Expo, WICE. They have 4 shows a year, and we can't wait to be part of the next one. It's going to be in Colorado, and so look out for their website, and we'll post everything as we can. We'll share, and we'll care, and we'll be delighted with the women that are doing some ganjapreneurness in our industry. Thank you. Hemp Parade.
Well, first off, before I say anything, I want to introduce myself for the last hour. My name is Silver Breezy. Thank you, Uncle Jeff, for having me on the show. I love you. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a cannabis activist, newly cannabis activist, think Uncle Jeff. And also, I'm a cannabis graduate looking for work in the cannabis industry. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I work an 8-hour shift every day washing dishes. And then I walk home an hour and 15 minutes to work and back to work. And you know what? I dedicate myself every day to those prisoners because I'm in a state, Pennsylvania, where it's medicated. So I can't really smoke in this state. So I'm dedicating my life to everyone else to have a better life in the future while I look for the work job in the cannabis industry, whatever it is. So I stay ready. But when you're out here in the real world, whether you're online or in the streets, in your community, wherever you're at, there are a lot of people misinformed and miseducated about cannabis. I get told all the time that I'm going to be a drug dealer. I get told all the time I'm not educated. I get told all the time while I'm washing dishes, I don't know how to wash dishes. So all I have to say is I'm in the right spot, in the right place with these people. The cannabis community, the cannabis industry is 2 different things. I love the community more than I love the industry. I get on here every Wednesday asking for work. The reason I get into the cannabis industry, everybody wins in this room. I tell everybody stories through me. So I just want to say to the prisoners, I'm out here advocating, fighting, doing whatever I can to free you guys. And I love weed, and I love the people, and I love what it brings. And this is me, still breathing.
You know, Solo, I watched Prince on the BET Awards last night. There wasn't a white man in the house, and I want to put what you just said, you know, right next to Prince after that on that video, you saying that I'm honored to be who I am. I'm honored to walk my walk, and especially as a as an elder, I have a little line that I have in Facebook. I always say, Jeffy Fresh approves this message. So,
Hooray.
and now let's have a great Women in Weeds Day. Hip hip hooray. That's all she wrote, everybody. I'm so blessed to have you all here. And
Was that pre-recorded? Was that pre-recorded of Solo?
that was pre-recorded. Yeah. Well, it was from last week's episode. It was from last week's episode after you left. Yeah. After you left.
Amazing, amazing. He's so put together.
Mhm.
Well,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, wow, I have not met him, and I after hearing what he said, I just like want to send him an email of encouragement and some ideas of where he could possibly find work and some different websites that he could reach out to. Like that was actually very inspiring. What a very articulate individual.
and like I said, film is food for me. Film is food, and through my movie, I helped to get my movie series. I helped to get prisoners free by raising the awareness. And now we just listened to a youngster, a young black man, that it's disproportionate the amount of black people in jail. That's so the idea is that the articulation you're hearing, it doesn't get heard unless we put it out there. We're on Roku right now. We're in Portugal. We're in Spain. We're in Mexico right now for those that are catching and riding my gravy train. So with the help from you, Brooke, and your people, we're gonna blast this, a little bit further every week. And we'd like to have 100,000 viewers. We'd like to have 1 million viewers. Right now, we are just blessed to have our third Weeds Day, everybody. I'll reset the room here. And it's Jeff Eichen with Women in Weeds Day. I'm wearing my Women in Cannabis shirt. Now, I got a request for this shirt. Next time you do this shirt, put the logo a little bit higher. So when we're on the air, everyone, I like to adjust that to go whoop, just a little bit higher.
Yeah,
But
I can do that.
yeah, I would love that, because see, when I'm going to be at all my expos, I'll wear this one day for you all, and then if it's higher, it doesn't get cut off by my table or it doesn't get cut off by my microphone. So this is all knowledge. Like I said, film is food, everybody, and so by broadcasting our shows every week, we're giving our take. Everybody's take is everything. So come to the restaurant you want, go to 31 Flavors and buy chocolate, vanilla, or pistachio, because that's the flavor you like. But what we like to do here is have that big giant Snoopy cone with every flavor on it.
I love that. No,
So-
that's great.
So Rodimus, can you share with us your love and your exasperation about the industry and the prisoners, and your experience with cannabis? When was the first time you smoked? You still with us, OG? Okay, OG's not here. Let's go back to you, Brooke. When was the first time you smoked?
My first time smoking, I will tell you, it's a very actually funny story. I was 18 years old. I had plenty of friends. They all constantly were like, "You've got to try it. You got to try it." Listen, I was church going, choir singing, cheerleader, worked at a Bible bookstore. I went through the DARE program. Drugs are bad. I mean, it was it was so ingrained in me. Like I'm never. I mean, I didn't even try alcohol till I was 18. So a girlfriend of mine, she lost her legs and fingers. I raised a bunch of money for her in high school and took her to church with me and all the things. And so cannabis was a thing for her in a healing process. And with our friend, we were all in the car, like back behind a warehouse. in our friend's car, and they're like, "You have to try it." And I was like, "Okay, I'm 18. I'm gonna do it." So I had some pot, and
Come on in.
We were all in the car like hotboxing it with the terms. Like I didn't know any of these terms, and I was like, "What? What's this? What's that? What's that?" So then her and I got into my car to leave, and I started to have a panic attack. And I was like, "You're going to have to drive my car." And at that point, she had not been fitted for her legs yet. She was still in the recovery process of both of her legs being amputated. And she was like, she said a bad word, but she was like, "I cannot drive your car. Like, I have no legs." And so that was my first cannabis getting high experience of having this meltdown. And she's like, "You're getting some mashed potatoes. We're getting you home. You're just going to drive really slowly, and we're putting your ass to bed." Like, that's what's happening. And so that was my first getting high experience. And I did not get high again until I was in grad school, and we had watched a video on cannabis, and a friend of mine had given me some, and it had already been legal in our state, Nevada. And I was so disgusted with the propaganda of what they did with cannabis. And I came home and I was like, "I'm going to get freaking high." And I did get high. And again, I had the whole panicky thing. And so having those two experiences with probably the terpene, and there was the pining, and this is Sarah, was causing me to have that panic sensation, which did not feel good. So once I, like I said, went into the dispensary and got educated and told them symptoms that I did not like, then they were able to guide me with product and flower and vapes and whatnot. And so then my third experience was actually 2 winters ago, as I was going through my ugly divorce. I stayed with my mom for a week in between transition. We had sold our house, and went upstairs into the guest room, and I did an edible, and within an hour I was instantly hungry. I wanted to eat. I felt very calm and relaxed. And so my third experience was at my home with my family this last year in May, a couple months, or actually in June, right before my stepdad passed away. We went over, and we didn't know he was going to get sick the next month, but we made a steak dinner. And my stepdad had a box that he always kept all his stuff, and he could roll joints really tight. And he handed me a joint, and we all smoked together. So I think going from the first experience being, having like this panic attack, to smoking with my family, my mom and my stepdad, was kind of a magical, like a unicorn in the room you don't hear about. I was telling a friend of mine, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, he handed me a joint, and then we both lit it." And then my mom was like, "Oh, you guys are both smoking? I want to try some," because my mom doesn't typically smoke, but the last couple months she's had a little bit from here to there. But we all got high together, and it was a lot of fun. So now you know my first story to my very magical story.
Well, I'm going to sing you that song again. Gonna take you high, high, high.
Yep.
Till the music's done. So everybody have a safe and sane Turkey Day. Most of you know me personally. I'm a raw vegan. I'm going on 20 years of not eating meat or gluten or queso, but I do eat Dutch cheese. Dutch cheese has an enzyme that is very good for your gut, and so my organic dentist, unfortunately, this beautiful man who wore a space suit while he was drilling my teeth and taking out my mercury, he got cancer and died. So I think that most dentists have shorter lives. So look at your industries, everybody. Just know that the dirty cotton industry is incredibly crowded with incredible hemp. The dirty cotton industry is horrible because people are dying in that industry. So in the industry of my dentist, going back a long way around the circle here to why I'm a vegan, is that but I do eat that one cheese, that Dutch old cheese, the Rembrandt black wax cheese. I love it so much. It has an enzyme in it. I'm trying to take care of elders right now that are losing their memory bank. So we use mycelium, we use reishi, chaga, lion's mane. So all the herbs. Marijuana is an herb. Nobody should be in frickin' jail for an herb, everybody. And the lady that was on my show that Amy Pova brought on, several months ago. She's been on a couple of times. She freaking was strapped to a bed while she was in jail giving birth to her child. That's a true story. If I could make a movie about that or have that in my next film as a scene, it's obscene. So film is food,
That's
everybody.
not uncommon.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon. I've told you that. What my first patient in the OR as a surgical tech was an inmate, and he was shackled to the bed as we did the operation on him. That is not uncommon.
And so it's unacceptable as humans and as shamans. I was in Standing Rock, and I opened up the series today telling everybody about the grandmothers, the wisdom keepers of the moms, of the frilliness and the emotional side of weed. So I try to focus wholly on the W today, the women of weed, because when I was in Standing Rock and all the grandmothers were at the water protecting the water, there was no grandfathers there. They were smoking their peace pipes. They had all their feathers on their head, and I saw one lady, I don't know if it was in a video or even there, and she walked up to one of the elders with this big old feathers, and she took her stick and she went boop, and she just knocked that freaking headdress off. And so I honor the women in weed. I honor the grandmothers of weed. I have this photograph somewhere here of the lady who's got a gown all the way to the ground, black and white, and she's holding this giant mushroom. And so I know from lore that the women, the grandmothers, hold most everything. When I was at 2012 at Chichen Itza, I went to the elders, and the elders, I asked them, and they were all around the pyramids on 2012, that day that the world was supposed to end. And the elders, I said, tell me about what I should know and take back to America. He says, it's the time of the woman.
Mm. Mm.
I rest on that. Dorothy, are you with us, Dorothy? Come on in. Unmute yourself, Dorothy. Let's see if we can get Dorothy to come on. Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. Do you have a camera or are you driving?
No, I don't have a camera, but right now, you probably don't want to see me right now.
Well, we are blessed. You're on Women in Weeds Day. Give us a woman's story about weed. Come on, give it to us, Dorothy.
Well, a lot of people, I have never done weed. I don't have a problem with nobody doing it. It's just like you grow it. It's a growing herb. I don't know what the real big deal is about. What
Amen.
And even though I've never done it, I'm not against it. And they're using now for medical marijuana. They should pass the laws all over the world. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do in some of my speeches. But, I've been fighting the last month, Jeff, with my kidney. I'm in stage 5 kidney disease. So right now, I'm very stressful right now because, it seems like I'm still in prison. Because in holiday time, when knowing that my son is locked up, and when he called, he said, Mama, are you cooking? I can't tell him I am because I've been there. I know what it's like to be in prison on holidays. They don't feed you anything. And when I would call home when I was in prison, I would go back to my bunk and I would just cry. Because, I couldn't deal with the fact knowing that everybody was free and I didn't have anything to eat in prison. Well, I've been going through a struggle right now trying to raise my granddaughter that belongs to him. He's been locked up 10 years, but my story is, I don't know if everybody knows it. I went to prison in 1995 for a conspiracy charge. If you watch that movie called Guilt by Association that plays on Tulik, that's the movie that Mercedes Ruel that used some of my part about my case in that particular movie. I left my children at the age of 9 years old. My daughter was 11 years old. She got molested by a family member while I was gone. So she still is on alcohol real bad because she can't let that go. But my son is incarcerated because he got on drugs while I was gone. And the impact of my case is when they sentenced me in federal prison because I had no information. I never sold drugs. I never used drugs. But because I didn't have any information for the government, they gave me 20 years. My son jumped in the judge's lap and begged them, don't take my mom away. That's all I had. The judge, his wife told me he couldn't sleep every night. He ended up writing a letter to the president of the United States where they put in for my commutation. He's the first judge in the United States that has ever written a letter to the President of the United States. So he FedExed the letter, and the prosecutor that sent me to prison was just amazed. This judge got. He said, but he could never get out of his mind how my son grabbed him, and the marshals had to pry him away from him, begging him not to send me. But because of the law, he said, because of the law that they had impacted, that's why he sent me to prison, not because of the case, but because of the law. So my life is still in shambles. I'm still suffering financially from this. I didn't even know what I was going to be able to feed my family this holiday. People just don't realize. And then being with my son being gone, I'm still living in prison every day. Every day. I'm living because now I'm raising his daughter. When he went to prison, his daughter was in the first grade. Now his daughter's in the 11th grade. She has a 4-point GPA. She's smart. She goes to Alabama Math and Science School here in Mobile. But she still struggles and has to go to counseling because she don't have a father figure in her life.
Dorothy,
Wow.
the holidays are here, and we're going to take care of you, Dorothy. I support Dorothy, everybody here. Planetary. This is not the only story. If you look at the news, sometimes I found a channel called All the News, All the Good News. There's a good news channel, but it's not all good news these days. There was an earthquake that killed many people, and we still have bullies out there with guns and things like that. So you don't know about individual humans, but when you hear a story like Dorothy, everybody, her heart goes so deep. And Dorothy and I were together in one of the Drug Policy Alliance venues a few years back. And so I dedicate next week is World 420 Day. We're going to dedicate next week to you, Dorothy, and we're going to come up. Crazy Pop Mom and I are going to auction off 3 trays for you. We're going to auction off 3 trays next week for you, Dorothy, and we're going to see if we can raise you some money so you can put food on the table and know that we're behind you. We love you so much.
Thank y'all. And my phone number. You want my phone number? You can write it down. It's 334.
Okay, hang on just a minute. Hang on. I'm going to put that in the chat here. Hang on. So, because the chat will stay with me. So I'm going to bring my chat over, everybody. Okay, so everybody here, Dorothy's phone number is 334
268
268
20
yes
94.
94. And what is your hang on just a minute. I'm gonna do something really special for you. This is going to be the coolest thing I did all day. Okay, so I'm going to go. The coolest thing I did all day was bring Dorothy on. Well, everybody else. It's Women in Weeds Day. Wait. Okay, so it's Women in Weeds Day, and we're going to go. Okay, Dorothy, tell us your email address so people can actually, if they're listening and their compassion heart is open, they can open their wallets. What is your PayPal?
My PayPal, I think it's Obstacle Breaker 1.
Okay, hang on. OBS
OBSTXCLEBREAKER. I have to look at it. I think I have it on your thing, Jeff. It's Obstacle Breaker 1, I believe it is.
Obstacle Breaker with the number 1 or ONE? Okay, number 1. Okay, at.
Let me see. Let me look on here and see if I can see it right quick.
Okay. Because everybody, I'm going to post this right on my screen here, and please go there and send Dorothy $4.20, $420 or $4,200. That's an order by Jeff Eichen. I'm ordering that up. Prime delivery is right now. Prime is not tomorrow.
It's PayPal.me/obstaclebreaker1.
Obstacle Breaker 1. Okay, so hang on. PayPal.me/. Okay, so everybody dig my software here. It's the best software in town here. and I've got Dorothy right above Women in Weed here on my little site here, and boom, there it is. Okay, so please
That's
assist.
awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Good job.
Oh.
And yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think.
Thank you guys. I love you all.
Oh,
Dorothy.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Dorothy, my name's Brooke, and I just want to say thank you for sharing your very traumatic story. Like, my heart really goes out to you, but thank you for being brave enough to talk about the awful things that have happened in your life and brave enough to continue on and to be a strong person for your son and to still be, it sounds to me like you're still a very positive individual. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry all of that happened, but I want you to know that I think good things are going to be coming your way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I tell you, I just sometimes I just think I'm still in prison.
Yeah.
oh, Dorothy,
But, you know, with him being in prison, it's like me. I could be somewhere trying to get me something to eat, and he'll call. I'll mute the phone because I know the feeling of not eating in prison. I know how many nights I went to bed hungry. I know in state prison is way worse. I was in federal prison. He's in state prison. And I know y'all heard Alabama is the worst state prison there is. There has been 35 murders where he is this year. My son was stabbed 15 times. Then last year he got stabbed 4 times with his neck cut. So, you know, I have just been emotionally tore up about the situation.
well, everybody on Weeds Day and Women in Weeds Day, this is our guest of honor today. We are just dubbing you the queen of of the roller derby here, and we're going to roll one up for you, Dorothy. Everybody, grab into your hearts here. PayPal.me.obstaclebreaker1, and everybody, come to my relieffoundation.org or my link tree if you can't find Dorothy there, and let's get her some dough for the holidays, everybody.
I mean, you have my phone number. Y'all can call and talk to me anytime you want to. Anytime, a night or day, call me.
Oh, that's fantastic, everybody. So let me see here. I have, let's see, I have right now, there's Dorothy's phone number. Let's see if we can get it back here. So we got Dorothy's phone number right here. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to go like this, everybody. Command C, and we're going to go boom, boom. Oh, I can't speak this because Rodimus, it makes his ears go like the chalkboard if I talk while I'm doing my thing. So I know my people. I know my peeps. Okay. So here we go. So we're going to go boom. It's going to go V. Come on, text here. Let's go. So in the meantime here, everybody, we got Dorothy McGaines here. She's not asking. She deserves it. She's been in the trenches from this prison, this thing we call prisoners of war for the war on drugs, the war on people it is, everybody. And so if I can paste this in here, boom, there it is. Okay, so we're going to go boom, and we're going to go third 24, and we're going to go give that a white label, and boom, white label. So here we go. There we go. So there, yay. So we got everything there for Dorothy, everybody. Globally, you can definitely PayPal global, and it's not just, single. But anyways, so open your hearts, everybody. Open your wallets. Help Dorothy to put food on her table and put a dime in the phone. When I was talking to Jeff Mazansky, he was when he was in jail, his granddaughter would call him, and it was like $300 a year to actually call into the for them. So help us out, everybody. And I'm going to go around the horn here. I'm going to get everybody on here. Jurassic, are you still on board? Are you still on board, Jurassic? You've been very patient all day.
I've been tuning in, listening in.
Hey, can you give us a little take on Women in Weeds Day?
Oh, Women in WEEDSDAYS. Earlier today, I was talking about my grandmother. She visited the States for the first time 3 years ago, and she had done a stint in rehab later, the after the first year of visiting, because she had just undergone surgery, and unfortunately her family put her in rehab. They they bought into all that propaganda, and I've been living with that. And and she came visited later that year, and we got to talking. Like, give her lots of props because she's old. She's an elder. She knows the land. My grandfather, lived off the land, farming their whole lives. And I actually be the adult in the room and talk to my parents about not putting my grandmother in rehab. That if I have cannabis and it's very private thing, if you don't want the kids to see, etc., like let her. She went and stole a few of my joints, and they wouldn't admit to it. I'm like, there's nobody else that would do that, but she just she's lived her life, and you can't blame her for enjoying or having some sort of relief when she just she had to put up with this for so many years. And my parents, her children, are a byproduct of the drug war. And earlier when we talked about the first time smoking cannabis, that was, to me, I was introduced by the gang life, or by a gang, basically. Parts of my family, parts of my community, and that was the only way to obtain cannabis when I was 14 years old. And I saw the older fellas just kind of roughing it up. They're the type of people, got into something, and that was my introduction to cannabis and a product of the drug war. I had some bumps in the road in maturing, and cannabis was always there. The only place to get it was where it was rough, and I'm pretty grateful.
And Jurassic, you agree that cannabis is way better than alcohol?
Oh, 100%. Apparently, so does my grandmother. So.
I agree with that too. I want everybody to smoke all the weed they want, because an alcoholic is the worst thing you could be around. My mother was an alcoholic, and it's got me the way I've never drank a beer in my life, because I lived through that chaos. She was an alcoholic she was very combative, fought a lot, and tried to kill my sister and brother. They had mental issues behind it. She tried to kill me with an axe when I came home from school. So people don't really know the whole deal of my life. People they don't know what I've been through from a child up. But I try to deal with it mentally. She had a mental problem, and alcoholic on top of being a mental problem.
I was watching a Amy Goodman the other day, and this guy said, "Oh yeah, I'm going back to visit my family," and his apartment building was blown up with his family in there. I mean, this is what we're dealing with, everybody on the planet. Let's get busy. Let's end prohibition. This is Weeds Day. Jeff Eichen resetting the room. We're at the top of the hour. Let's go around the circle and give last final words for the holidays. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. It's not about Christopher Columbus. It's about everybody being one, and the women and the men have got to come together and come together right now over weed. So it's a somber moment that we talk about our trials and tribulations, but through film and through awareness, we'll let the world know, and we'll get it to the White House, and hopefully globally will help to end prohibition. So Crazy Pop Mom, you're great. Let's start with you, Dorothy. Any final words, Dorothy? You still with us, Dorothy? Brooke, any final words? We'll come back to Dorothy.
Yes. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I've been practicing a month of gratitude, saying something I'm grateful for every day on social media instead of just posting random stuff. I've only posted one thing every day on Facebook of my thankfulness. I want to say, Dorothy, I think you need to write a freaking book and make a movie. Like, damn, girl. Crazy Pop Mom, I commend you for your hard work, your artistic skills, raising money, but using your artistic skills. Jurassic, I want to meet your grandma because her and I need to smoke a joint together. Rodimus, I'm going to definitely make my time to come to Paris at some point so you can take me on the tour and show me all.
Wait. Let's do a women in cannabis in Euro.
Yeah, maybe 2024 we could do that. And then this other little screen that I see up here, the gentleman at the top. Well, he's at the top. I have not met you, but thank you for coming on.
That's Solo Breezy from the entry from the opening. That's Solo.
I want to say something to you. You look a little different, Solo. He played your story of you washing dishes and educated in cannabis and looking for work. I do have some ideas of some websites you could maybe hop on to look for cannabis jobs. I want to say congratulations on telling people you're breaking the stigma. Yes, I can wash dishes. Yes, I can walk to my job. Yes, I'm going to work in the weed business. So I want to give you a big high five over here. And my last words are to Jeff. Thank you for believing in what I'm doing for women. As we say in our organization, yep, and he got the best branded booth because he tore it up in San Francisco. I say this, yes, we are women-centric, but we cannot do this unless men support us, whether that's there are backers, whether there are partners, whether they are just rooting us on. We cannot come together unless we have men that support us in this industry. So men are always welcome at our events. Obviously, we've got a lot more women there. But hey, maybe you'll need a future wife or girlfriend. Just throwing that out there.
Can of mommy. Can of mommy.
Can of mommy. And Jeff, thank you for all that you do in the industry. I just hope all of you guys have a very beautiful day tomorrow.
Okay, everybody, that's our beautiful.
Awesome, bro. Keep doing this. Keep doing this. You're doing great. We love you.
And all of our photos and our and my videos that I did, I'll put together a little video for you soon, a 3-minute one version. And when I do a music video, a 3-minute music video takes me 10 hours to edit, so it'll be beautiful and we'll get to it. But I honor you, Brooke. I honor Solo. Solo, give us a quote of the day.
You might be right. I didn't even think about that, bro. Let's check it out.
I think he's gonna unmute himself.
Solo, unmute.
Solo, we need your quote.
Okay, there he is.
Quote.
Before I actually give a quote, I want to say something real quick. I actually want to say happy Thanksgiving to each and everybody here in the room. That's very important to me. What I want to say real quick is next week, November 28th, is going to be my 29th birthday. Now, why am I telling you guys this? It's because 1 year ago, this is almost close to the point when Crazy Pop Mom met me. And this is how it became where I'm at today. The cannabis community has accepted me. 1 year ago, I was turned 28, but we threw a party for myself, in Zoom rooms. Before I met you guys, we threw a party, and it was the most specialist thing being part of this cannabis community because I never felt so much love and being accepted in here from all my friends and family. And now you guys actually are really my family. Being turning 29 is very special to me, but I wouldn't be here without accepting cannabis fully into my life. That's how special it's become full circle. I'm a cannabis graduate, but now I'm a cannabis activist thanks to Uncle Jeff and him educating me and helping. And I just want to say thank you guys for that. Because 1 year ago, my whole life was different. And you guys don't understand how much an impact the whole cannabis community has affected me in the best way. So I just wanted to say that before I said the quote. And I also want to say everyone should understand that cannabis is a wonderful plant because it brings us together as people. There's not one day I don't wake up every day and talk about weed. I could talk about weed with Jurassic all day because we talk almost every other day. I could talk to Crazy Pop Mom about weed and the stuff we go through. Every single day has been a special day because I don't have real people in my life. These are all my new family members I can talk to every day. From it's the craziest thing. Different countries and everything. And I love all of you. So I also want you guys to understand Thanksgiving is important, and we need to remember that the people we're around, we need to embrace them and love them. The reason we're doing that is because look at the world. Everyone cares more about all the negative stuff or all about the cell phone stuff, all about the wrong things. Care about the people in your own circle and family. Some people don't even get a Thanksgiving. You know what I have to do tomorrow? I have to work an 8 hour shift and wash dishes. Then walk home an hour 15 minutes. Then stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, still working on my dreams to come and see everybody. Um, but I want everyone to know out there, I want everyone to know that weed will get you everywhere. Without weed, I don't know where y'all be at.
Okay, where's your quote, baby? And by the way, we love you.
Jeff, don't lean into the mic.
That's beautiful.
Oh.
All right, guys, here's the quote for today, quoted by Stacey Jean Spear. People need to be encouraged. People need to be reminded of how wonderful they are. People need to be believed in, told that they are brave and smart and capable of accomplishing all the dreams they dream and more. Remind each other of this.
Mm, mm. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
Well, Solo brings us a quote every week. And any final words, Solo, to the prisoners?
Me, as a new cannabis activist, I'm going to continue advocating. I'm going to continue educating people that the people in prison for cannabis, they're not bad people. The other thing is, I want to give a big shout out to Big Brittany Griner all the way across over in Russian and first prison, especially for Weed Winning Wednesday. I love that lady, and we're going to keep hoping you come home soon. We love you, Big BG.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Brittany Griner. And we're coming for you. We're coming for you. Crazy Pop Mom, any final words?
Yeah. Solo almost made me cry. So
Yes.
thanks again, Solo. He loves to do this to me. I swear to God, if I don't have a tear, he hasn't done his job. Yeah, you guys do mean the world to me. Like he said, we met a year ago. I met a lot of other people 2 years ago. And the group that I've made with you all is like amazingly different than the group that I had before. Like you guys and your support, and you're like, no, you got this, girl. Don't worry about it. Like no matter what you're going through, you've got this. Where before I felt like it was hard to get like any feedback unless you asked for it. And I don't want to ask for it. I'm an artist. We don't want to ask for our, greatness or whatever you want to call it. We just want you to notice it because we feel it. Do you feel it? If you don't feel it, then we are hurt. So now I've got that love and support. Like Rodimus, he talked to me for almost an hour over resin the other day. Like that is dedication to my art, right? And I love that. And I love him for that. And I love all of you for all the support you give me. I haven't talked to Jurassic a lot, but I still have a connection with him. Do you know what I mean? Like we just have this thing that we've all got going on. And I'm in Canada, so I might not ever get to meet all of yous or any of yous, but this is good enough because we have that connection, whether we're across the border or like in France. Like that is so far away from me, I can't even grasp that. So I thank you, all of you, for everything that you're doing to bring light into my life because I really do need that. So thank you all. And I am still going to keep pushing for the prisoners. As you know, my trades are going to be sold and money. All the money proceeds will go to the prisoners and their family, including Dorothy. So
thank you so much. Everybody give me 3 for a screenshot. Okay, 3 for weed, everybody. Boom. Hang on. We just got a different view here. Hang on. So I'm going to go back to gallery. All right, 3 for weed, everybody. Boom. Whoa, how did that happen? Hang on. So I'm going to go, wait, we got somebody new coming on board. Hang on. So we're going to go 3 for weed. Hang on. Boom. I know what I did wrong here. Boom. Okay, 3 for weed. Here we go. 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy holidays, everybody. Okay, we got our picture. Who's on iMac, everybody? Who's on
I
iMac?
just started out laughing like crazy.
Well, you know what, everybody? Find your strain. Find your strain. And Rodimus, look who's joined us. We have beautiful Kim on board from Bainbridge Island. And so Kim, say hi, Kim, and tell us when was the first time you ever smoked pot? Tell us your name and what you got.
The first time I ever smoked pot was in Pullman when I was a student at WSU. I was actually 20 years old, so it's pretty old. But once I smoked it, I said I would never give it up.
Hey.
And I never have.
And we haven't had you on for the whole day. We've been talking about women and weed. What can you donate as a goddess of cannabis? What would you like to say to the prisoners in jail over the holidays?
I feel for you. Life is not always fair. I guess I don't know what to say. It's just such a tragedy. But pot for me is a healthy thing. It makes me happy.
That works. That
You
works
know,
for me.
I enjoy being outside and being in nature, and I think smoking a little weed just kind of enhances my participation.
Well, we're really blessed to have you. And who do we just lose? Who did we just lost somebody? So we're really blessed. Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Because I went to the bathroom earlier.
Oh, that's
Can I use
Dorothy.
my spot to say something.
And so now we're gonna go around the horn. And wait. We're gonna go around the horn. Hang on. If we go around the horn, we're gonna blow in Rodimus. Rodimus, let me tell everybody a little bit about Rodimus. We knew each other. We have known each other for 30 some odd freaking years, and we've seen each other through a lot of freaking things, and we're dedicated to having Rodimus and I do a big project together soon, this year, next year, in our lifetime, so we can help to bring the prisoners home. We're talking about doing a concert series once a year for the prisoners, and maybe we're looking for you, Snoop and Willie. Willie's old, and so is Tommy and Cheech, but we got Tommy and Cheech on board, but now we need Willie. Now we need Snoop. So everybody out there, Rodimus and I are dedicated to helping in our own way produce something really fantastic. But Rodimus is also a beautiful soul, and he grew up in the industry, and so he's very articulate himself. So I really appreciate your school, Rodimus. And I haven't given away any emblems, but tell us a little bit about yourself and what you have for the prisoners on our way out on this Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, thanks. That's so sweet. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Can you bring your camera back, mister?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me figure out what's going on here. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, I was just paying attention, and then okay. Am I back?
You are totally here, 100%. Tell us a little bit about you. Some people might not know about you.
Right. So one of the reasons why I want to bring what I created in the past into the present to help prisoners. I was my character that I played on TV many years ago was called Grasshopper. And so you guys, maybe some of you are too young to remember, there was you've heard the term patience, Grasshopper. You have much to learn, Grasshopper. Well, that's from an old TV show called Kung Fu, and I was David Carradine as a little kid with a shaved head in the Shaolin monastery playing the role of grasshopper with my Master Po. Here's Master Po, Master Po. That's Key Luke. Key Luke. Key Luke was the great Master Po. Here he is seen without his contact lenses that gave him white cataract eyes. That's how the character was on TV. But that photograph I took of him when we were off the set, not working, taking a break. Anyway, so so I want to just loan whatever cachet I still have in that whole department to this movement to get the prisoners out of jail. I mean, because every time anyone smokes marijuana and they are enjoying it, they should also have a little thought in the back of their heads that you have the privilege, I have the privilege of being able to do this, but there are people who are in jail just because they did that, more or less. And that's really a bummer. We're all here to support that. So, enough said on that. Anyway, I do have something I wanted to read, which was, I think Breezy did sort of the most beautiful thing. So I can't top Breezy's thing, but Jeff asked me to read this to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Is that okay with you, Jeff?
Please, everybody, this is one of my closest friends, Rodimus Para, formerly Grasshopper, or along with his legacy, Grasshopper. So snatch the bud, dude, and go for it.
Okay, so I just wrote this a couple of days ago. And it's a piece, it's a cerebral piece. It's very short, but I'll read it to you. It's called Contemplation 1. Short story. He remembers 20 years ago this November, almost to the day, sitting in this very park on his 8th birthday. The number was so significant, 8. Turn it sideways and it's infinity. Not only did it represent how many years he had been on the planet at that point, but also a significant news item that week, which obviously stayed with him. How humanity had just reached 8 billion people in November 2022. All those zeros, he thought then, so difficult to conceive and understand their magnitude. Even now in 2043, just after his 28th birthday, the magnitude, they've just added another zero. 10 billion people on the surface of Earth now. 2 billion additional planetary citizens in only the past 2 decades. He just read that while it took 300,000 years for humanity to reach its first billion, it took less than 1,000 years to go from there to 10 billion. Only 1,000 years. The article gave some additional perspective on the difference between a million and a billion. If a person with $1 million spent $1,000 a day, it would last about 3 years. But a person with just, in quotes, just $1 billion spending the same amount every day would last 2,740 years. $1,000 a day. Well, that's truly an obscene amount of money with its own implications. He thought it provided a suitable analogy of magnitude. No wonder he thought that the Earth has been moaning, its temperature rising, blowing off steam, as it were, in the form of unusually high volcanic activity the past 25 years. The onslaught of multiple global pandemics, too, all of which emerged from nature, hardly seemed to make a dent on reducing the general population because science had gotten so good at keeping up with the viral mutations and greatly reduced mortality rates. So here we all are, he thought, but why? All his life he had subscribed to the idea that made the most sense to him. Humans are souls inhabiting form, here to learn from our mistakes and evolve, lifetime after lifetime. But what was to account for the fact that there had never been this many souls inhabiting walking bodies ever before? If there were only 2 billion people living on the planet 150 years ago, where did the additional 8 billion walking souls come from exactly? Other planets? Could be, he thought. There are certainly mysteries which even the most esoteric teachings have only been able to begin to address. Or could it be that all of humanity currently incarnated represents all of the people who have ever lived, and instead of staying in the in-between lifetime state for extended periods, they've all been reincarnated at the same time? He felt that also had a ring of truth, but was far from sure about it. How could he be? How could it be? How could anyone be, for that matter? Assuming the latter scenario, and I'm almost done yet, guys. Thanks for your patience. Assuming the latter scenario, he also had to ask why. Are we all here at this moment to collectively experience something that will reset our fundamental understanding of reality? All be here at this specific moment, thoroughly interconnected electronically, in order to finally meet living beings from another galaxy, and thereby providing said reset? As far as our perception of God and our own place in the vastness of the universe? Or is there some other collective karma coming for which it is most efficient for the grand natural order, Mother Nature, to have us all experience simultaneously? If so, he couldn't help but wonder why weren't the slew of global pandemics over the last 2 decades enough to deliver a clear and certain message to all of us? And if so, that message was apparently missed, too easily set aside, he mused, as we individually and collectively seem to know how to do so well. Was our biological, i.e. viral, interconnectedness supposed to help us realize our responsibility, to motivate us to end famine or at least war? War was still being waged, and people were still needlessly dying all over the planet, and none of the super billionaires of the early 21st century, nor the foundations they left behind, ever truly addressed the causes of war and famine, which their wealth alone could have ended. He felt the comforting, not too warm sun on his cheek as he sat there. Perhaps we're all back in bodies together to face the fact that we didn't harness our collective will either to force those people with those billions and billions of money, of dollars, or the leaders of our nations to do anything about these two most ignored ongoing issues, famine and war. Instead, we kept tacitly believing their justification, the widely accepted explanations of how the shareholders have the right to increase the value of the corporation by producing additional profit every year and ad infinitum, blah, 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 blah. It was starting to become obvious to him that it really is our collective karma for all of us to be here now. Funny, that phrase, he mused. There's one answer that has been there all along, and here we all are, being here now in a certain way. He let out a wistful chuckle and a deep breath, looking at the other park goers passing by. Apparently, he wasn't the only one ruminating about this. In so many conversations he had recently with both friends and chance acquaintances alike, this happened to be the inevitable theme emerging from those precious interactions, the temporary setting aside of the familiar challenges of our individual lives, and for a string of moments contemplating the bigger picture, perhaps in mass, he hoped. A nagging question kept returning. How can 10 billion fucking eating, shitting people, let alone even more animals and insects, keep sharing this planet without something big having to give way, either physically or spiritually, to something more sustainable to help take us to the next level of collective consciousness? He'd noticed how the remains of his ice cream had just begun dripping through the bottom of the cone and onto his hand, so he popped the last of it into his mouth and left the park bench to rinse his fingers off at a nearby water fountain.
Oh, thank you.
I just want to say that was awesome. And the last part about how can everybody be here living, crapping, all the things. I think about that all the time. Like, it's seriously, it's in my head. Like, when you see like mountains and stuff, and I'm like, but there's all these people. Where are they? And, yeah, thank you for that. That was fantastic. Wow.
Thanks for letting me share that, Jeff. Thanks for all you listening to it. Thank you.
You love it. Hey, Uncle Grasshopper, when are you going to accept my friend request on Facebook, Uncle Grasshopper?
Okay, let me take this moment to explain that to you. Okay, I only friend people who, don't be offended. I've only friend people who I've met in person. So.
Oh, so I got to get on the flight? Uncle Jeff, what's that flight? I gotta come. Gotta come to Paris.
Well, now that you're part of Women in Cannabis, we'll set Gay Paris or Champagne, where Rodimus lives, to have a Women in Cannabis. We'll all go, and you'll be at our booth, Solo. So and Solo, I'm not accepting yours because you're on the wrong Jeff Eichen. I mean, I have 2 accounts. Get on my other account, and I'll accept you, and that'll be great. So Rodimus, thank you so much for your care and your awareness and your OG-ness. You know, once we turn 60, 70, 80, we are the grandmothers or the grandfathers at always at African Marketplace in Los Angeles at the Watts Towers. I would see the great, wonderful man with a dashiki all the way to the ground with beautiful clothing and a scarf on his head sitting by a tree. And he'd have 20 or 30 children sitting there. And he would tell the story of all the trees, how their roots are in the ground, and they talk to each other through the earth, and how the mycelium network works. And so with stories like you just told us, it reminds us that books on tapes are really important when you're driving down the highway trying to loosen your load and you got 7 on your mind. So it's really important, 7 weed women on your mind. So it's really important that everybody have a great holiday, a great Thanksgiving. This is my show. We can go over the hour anytime. It's my pleasure. And Rodimus, thank you so much for sharing that story with us. Thank you, Solo, for sharing your life with us. Thank you, Dorothy, for sharing your information with us. Remember, everybody, paypal.me.obstaclebreaker1 and area code 334-268-2094. Give Dorothy a call and find out what else you can do with and for Dorothy. And so
anytime that you all want to call, that I want to make sure that you all see this documentary they did when I first came home from prison on my son. It's behind the letter, dear judge, that he wrote to the judge.
Well, that's fantastic. So we got Dorothy, we've got Kim on the iMac there. In fact, we can go like this. We can rename your iMac to Kim. So boom. Okay, so now we got Kim there. And Crazy Pot Mom, thank you everybody for joining us today on Women in Weeds Day. Every third Weeds Day. Next week we're going to be doing, we're going to have 3 trays to auction off for $4,200. We're going to start the auction at $420.
4, Jeff. I have to stop you because it's 4. Everybody that's watched us so far knows it's 4, and they're screaming at you, it's 4, it's 4.
Okay, 420. Send them to me now. Send them to me now, and we'll get them going. And love you, love and light, everybody. And any final words from anybody? I think raise your hand if you got final words. No. Oh, what about me? Okay, my final words are. You know what? I'm just going to bring my, as we enter the holidays, I offer you this thought. Mom, mother, grandmother, she, her, they, them. The cookies and the frilly trimmings are brought to you by these awesome women. Yes, the emotional side of 420 is my vision of the pie we call Women in Weeds Day and our industry. I'm so honored to offer and dedicate a full show every Weeds Day, third Weeds Day, to these awesome women of cannabis. I see the heart and soul of our road. They are the heart and soul of our road. You know, the men plant, the men do this, the men do that. There's some women that are growers, but I mean, they're the nail busters in the industry. And the restaurant we call Women in Weeds Day. Hemp hooray, everybody. And thank you, Brooke Westlake, for being an awesome soul and our co-host today. I'm going to share my screen and we're out of here with my last quote. So stay on, Breezy, so you can see what we had with you. I'll play that whole 3-minute thing. You can stay on, everybody, and I'll be on a little bit afterwards. We love you, Breezy. Yeah, go like the wind, everybody. You know, I'm a joker. I'm a toker. Come on, everybody. I'm a midnight smoker. I'm a joker. I'm a toker. I'm a midnight smoker. Okay, so fly like an eagle, everybody. Here's my my outro, and I'll be on a little bit afterwards. So here we go. Outro, go boom, 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 boom. And here we go. That's Weeds Day. Today, I'd like to welcome all the women in Weeds Day, and it's Jeff Eichen here with co-host Brooke Westlake from Women in Cannabis Expo, WICE. They have 4 shows a year, and we can't wait to be part of the next one. It's going to be in Colorado, and so look out for their website, and we'll post everything as we can. We'll share, and we'll care, and we'll be delighted with the women that are doing some ganjapreneurness in our industry. Thank you. Hemp Hemp Parade.
Well, first off, before I say anything, I want to introduce myself for the last hour. My name is Silver Breezy. Thank you, Uncle Jeff, for having me on the show. I love you. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a cannabis activist, newly cannabis activist, thanks to Uncle Jeff. And also, I'm a cannabis graduate looking for work in the cannabis industry.
The School of Puff.
I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I work an 8-hour shift every day washing dishes. And then I walk home an hour and 15 minutes to work and back to work. And you know what? I dedicate myself every day to those prisoners because I'm in a state, Pennsylvania, where it's medicated. So I can't really smoke in this state. So I'm dedicating my life to everyone else to have a better life for the future while I look for the work job in the cannabis industry, whatever it is. So I stay ready. But when you're out here in the real world, whether you're online or in the streets, in your community, wherever you're at, there are a lot of people misinformed and miseducated about cannabis. I get told all the time that I'm going to be a drug dealer. I get told all the time I'm not educated. I get told all the time while I'm washing dishes, I don't know how to wash dishes. So all I have to say is I'm in the right spot, in the right place with these people. The cannabis community, the cannabis industry is 2 different things. I love the community more than I love the industry. I get on here every Wednesday asking for work. And the reason I get into the cannabis industry, everybody wins in this room. I tell everybody stories through me. So I just want to say to the prisoners, I'm out here advocating, fighting, doing whatever I can to free you guys. And I love weed, and I love the people, and I love what it brings. And this is me, Silver Breezy.
You know, Solo, I watched Prince on the BET Awards last night. There wasn't a white man in the house, and I want to put what you just said, you know, right next to Prince after that, on that video, you saying that I'm honored to be who I am. I'm honored to walk my walk. And especially as a, you know, as an elder, I have a little line that I have in Facebook. I always say, Jeffy Fresh approves this message. So, Parade. And now let's have a great Women in Weeds Day. Hemp Hemp Parade. That's all she wrote, everybody. And we have most everybody on. Thank you, Brooke, for joining us. Thank you, Kim, for joining us. I'll see you this weekend. We love you, Breezy. We love you, Jurassic. Dorothy, any final words, Dorothy?
I just want everybody to have a happy Thanksgiving. And like I say, I've never smoked weed, but I got plenty of family members that does. And it's like, to me, it's medical. I mean, I have a brother-in-law that he uses it for his pain management. They won't give him pain medicine because of, you know, how they deal with the opiates. But he uses it as his pain medication. He said he has to have it.
Dorothy, you need to check your PayPal. You need to check your PayPal right now, okay?
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Okay.
Don't let me have a heart attack.
Obstacle breaker, baby. You go out and have a dinner on us, Dorothy, and we love you so much. Next week, we're going to be working on a Dorothy four tray auction. We'll even auction them, you know, and we'll have a really great Weeds Day next week. And I already put the call out for Tommy Chong. He's back from Greece, and maybe we'll get Tommy on for one of our last shows of the year, and it's always fun to have Tommy, you know. But let's get a concert going, everybody. Help me get this concert at Oakland Coliseum, everybody, and help me get Snoop, and help me get Willie, and help me get Led Zeppelin. Come on, let's just get put our money where our mouth is for all the rockers to step up and to do a concert with us. That's going to have, guess what? The Oakland Coliseum has 42,000 seats. What is that? That's 420. So let's get 42,000 people in the stadium for weed.
Let's practice the Kevin Bacon rule. And you must know somebody who knows somebody who knows some of these people. Talk to them. Ask them to talk to them. And it's going to happen.
And you know how to find us all, everybody. I'm at Relief Foundation. I'm at linktree.ee, Jeff Eichen, and you can find me. And you can also find me back on the show next week. And if you want to come on the show, go to our Linktree. There's a link for our. It's invisible because I don't want the whole world coming on. So if you go to my Linktree, that's my business card, scroll down and find the Zoom chat. You can come in right with us here and hang out. You can smoke a bowl, you know. So, oh yeah, I know France. France, no bowly, no bowly.
Well, no. We got CBD. We do have CBD. I actually smoked some CBD before this show.
Yay! If nothing else, you have pain meds.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, well, I'll leave us all with my honor for the holidays is everybody knows that on hemp paper we have
People.
Weed the People. So this is signed by Weed Jefferson, Mr. Weed Jefferson. And I think I should sign this. Maybe I should send this out and we should all sign it. Okay, everybody in this room, I'm sending you a copy. So I love you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't worry about, you know, the Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria, because we do pardon ourselves. And what would Jesus smoke? Okay, you know, I didn't show you that poster, but what would Jesus puff? You know, he would forgive everybody. So in forgiveness and in honesty, everybody, forgive yourself for all the wrongs that you've done to anybody. There was a TV show called Earl, and he had a piece of paper he'd pull out of his pocket, and he would check it off every time he would go to make. Yeah, he would go and blah, blah, blah. So what would Jesus puff? Jesus is about forgiveness, okay? And so during this holiday, forgive yourself and all those, and come together right now over weed. What else can I say? It's Weeds Day on a holiday. It's Women in Weeds Day. We had the blessing to have Brooke on today. Brooke is really phenomenal in her industry, and we had the incredible Kim. We had the incredible Solo, the incredible Crazy Popmon, the incredible Dorothy, the incredible Jurassic, and last but not least, we have Mr. RP, the Rodimus Para. Thank you so much, Rodimus. And may we all be together soon. We're together now. We heart Jeffrey Fresh. And I don't know what else to say except for we're going to take you high, 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 high till the music's done. I'm out of here, everybody. Get me when you need me. You know where to find me. I'll see you, Kim, soon. I'll see everybody else next week. And blah, blah, blah.
Record.
Okay. So now we are going to say, everybody on POD TV, we love you. And we're so blessed to have this opportunity to have the platform to be with you. And we won't let this go on 9 hours to this week. Last week we left it going on. We're going to end the broadcast. So love you, everybody. Let's see if I can come in here for a second while we're converting here to leave our show here. So we're going to go boom, and we're going to go boom, and we're going to go boom. There we go. And we're going to go brand. We're going to go poster hide. Okay, so we blew it again. We had our poster on board. So we didn't have a we didn't have a back office. So everybody on StreamYard, please forgive me for having the poster over everybody today, but it was still a beautiful listen. And I will post the original very soon. And then you can go on to YouTube to find that that station. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's Jeff Eichen with Weeds Day. And don't forget to send Dorothy a PayPal me / paypal.me/obstacle breaker. And her phone number is 334-268-2094. Go talk to Dorothy. She's got a great, I wouldn't say tragic, just a great story about, her life. It was just an incredible life that she had. So we'll do better on the back end. I didn't have a back end person today to take off my poster. So excuse-moi. But there will be, we'll post a new episode on YouTube here pretty soon. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Jeff Eichen, a little bit over the hour, and we love you. Have a great, safe holiday. Okay, bye-bye.